Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reely Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be discussing The Pleasure Garden from 1925 from Alfred Hitchcock. So, now let me break down the critic list description. Two chorus girls at the Pleasure Garden Theater follow different paths in love and fortune. Alright, so now let me give you my thoughts on the plot. So, the plot, I gave it a 2 out of 5. I thought it was pretty mediocre. I really didn't care for any of these characters. And honestly, it kind of randomly decides to go to Africa. I thought that was a little strange. It just felt jumbled and all over the place as a story. Um, and just as a side note, if you're expecting, because you hear Alfred Hitchcock, you're expecting like dramatic, uh, psychological thriller or horror or anything like that. You're not getting that here. This is very much just a generic run of the mill romance movie of this time period. I would compare it to like almost like Broadway Melody from I think that was 29, a couple of years after this one, but yeah, do not expect a Hitchcock movie that you would think of coming into it here. That's a side note. Yeah, plot 2 out of 5. Right, the acting. Look, I'll be honest, I give it a 3. No one does bad per se, but no one really stands out either. It's just very generic. I think that's the word I'm going to use to describe this movie. This is just generic. It's nothing. It's nothing you haven't already seen, especially if you're familiar with silent movies. This is very much run of the mill. So 3 out of 5 for the acting. All right, set design. So I hated the Africa scenes. I thought they were totally unnecessary. Um, I mean, necessary plot wise, but I just thought it was so random. I gave it a 3. I thought they looked cool. You know, the stage that they had for it felt pretty cool. But the scenes with the chorus girls at the actual pleasure garden and whatnot, it felt very generic. Again, it wasn't super spectacular, flashy light or anything like that. It felt like a soundstage. So 3 out of 5. All right, cinematography, same thing. Don't expect any crazy close-ups or any crazy shots or anything like that. Very run-of-the-mill. 3 out of 5. All right, music. 3.5 out of 5. The version I saw had music I don't think was part of the original, so I don't. Whenever that happens with a silent movie, I don't dox it. I give it an average score. So 3.5 out of 5. Okay, so overall, that brings my score to 2.9 out of 5, which is a 58% on Criticlist. So now let me break down my Criticlist score. Graphic language, none. Violence, there's some murder and whatnot, but it's very, very tame. Nudity, sexual content. So, being that they're chorus girls, right, they're kind of scantily clad, but it's no nudity, anything like that. Political bias, none. Family friendly, sure. I think kids would be pretty bored of it though. Entertainment value? Not really. I was pretty bored with it, and so overall, would I recommend this movie? Only for a die hard Hitchcock fan. Um, Honestly, this could have easily been directed by anybody else. This does not have any of his distinct charm or any of his distinctness in this movie. It feels very generic for this time period. Very much a run of the mill romance, melodrama, that kind of thing. That's what this movie is. There's nothing, really nothing unique. The only close thing is probably the scene where I think it's her name is Jill, when her husband drowns the African native. That felt kind of like a Hitchcock movie. Kind of. Not really. Um Again, very generic run of the mill. It does not have any of his distinctness, like I mentioned, like close ups or anything like that. None of that is here. I'll be honest, I don't think I'll ever see this one again. It was so generic. Again, I keep saying you would have no idea it was a Hitchcock movie. So overall, yeah, I don't. Even if it wasn't a Hitchcock movie, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Just because it's just so average. There's just nothing special about it, and I hate saying that about a movie, right? But really, like, there's nothing spectacular, nothing crazy about it. It is very generic. I'd put it like a B movie kind of a thing. There's nothing special about it, in my opinion. So yeah, overall, I do not recommend this movie for two reasons. One, I only recommend it for diehard Hitchcock fans. And even if it wasn't a Hitchcock movie, I also wouldn't recommend it. It's just pretty generic. All right, well, those are my thoughts on The Pleasure Garden from 1925, and that concludes today's movie review.